Hey, I got started on this channel talking about tech and being unemployed and H1B visas, and I came across something this week that I didn't know before about the whole visa situation that makes me think it's actually worse than I thought, and I thought I'd share that with you. Take a look at this.
Rosemary, Jenks, I want to go through the value chain of this con. And the value chain is all for the companies and the corporations who do not give a damn about American citizens unless the schmendrick taxpayers are underwriting their con. So walk us through it, ma'am.
Yeah, so and the universities are heavily involved in this as well because they get full tuition from foreign students. So they bring in foreign students on an F visa, and then President George W. Bush created a program out of whole cloth called the Optional Practical Training Program, OPT, which allows employers to hire foreign student graduates over Americans and get a subsidy because they don't have to pay Social Security taxes for the foreign students. So they actually save 7-8% on hiring foreigners over Americans. And then from OPT, the employer sponsors them for an H1B. And then from H1B, the employer sponsors them for a green card. They go into a backlog and they can remain here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years until a green card becomes available. And that entire time, American STEM workers are blocked, literally excluded from those jobs. So this is a pipeline that we have to break. First of all, we have to eliminate OPT immediately, which the president could do with a stroke of his pen. The second thing is, if America first actually means Americans first, then we should just eliminate the H1B program altogether. If you are the seriously best and brightest genius,
hang on. I have begged these guys to show, and there's hundreds of thousands, not to 80. There's 85,000 plus another 20,000 for graduate schools, which also takes the graduate schools off for American citizens getting into. So there's 20. That's 105,000, 115,000. I get to or 105,000. Then there's unlimited number coming out of college, and that's just on an annual basis. So there's hundreds of thousands, or over 100,000 on an annual basis. You add it up, there's millions here. Yes. I have asked,
$1.5 million,
and pleaded for them to come to how many? How many did you just say, ma'am?
At 1.5 million.
1.5 million. I think that's a low count, but I'll take that number. Yeah. 1.5 million. All of whom have to go home immediately. And I'm not being a nativist. I'm not being a xenophobe. This is practical. And here's why.
Before Steve gets into the why, that was pretty much the new stuff that I hadn't heard before, that students are being subsidized on an F visa. They get a job. The employers don't have to pay the Social Security portion, the employer's portion of the Social Security to the federal government. They keep them on an H1B visa for as long as it takes to get them a green card, and it's all being subsidized by the American taxpayer. In the meantime, students who are competing to get into these universities have a harder chance doing so because there could be some preference for the foreign student. But I'm encouraged by these kind of conversations that something may change. As Steve says, no one so far has been able to show a billet or an actual job description where someone is doing a job that a qualified American could not do. And I've seen that in my case too. I'd have a hard time if I had children today, if nothing changed, to encourage them to go into tech. It wasn't actually my degree. My degrees are in electrical engineering, and my first job out of college just happened to be with IBM in tech, and I stayed with that. I'd probably be pretty much useless to be an electrical engineer today. So this is my livelihood. And I do have a job offer, as I mentioned in a previous video, but it has taken some time to get onboarded. We're going on about 6 weeks now. Maybe something will happen next week or the week after, but to get an offer pretty much at the end of January and not get started until maybe April. And it's not, a federal job where I require some sort of clearance I don't already have. This is a private sector job, working in banking and finance, and it's taken some time, but we'll see where that goes. Let's continue with what Steve had to say about what the answers could be.
They have not shown us one person in a billet that billet either has a professional, academic, or professional rank that an American citizen can't fill.
That's
the
absolutely
entire program is a lie. It is a bald-faced lie. I understand. I worked at Goldman Sachs. I went to Harvard Business School. I get the math. You want to have all these companies it's the labor that's the cost in the age of the algorithm. It's in by and large that there's some others that have production capability, but labor cost is everything. If you cut your labor cost by a third to 50%, and that's what they pay these people less,
Yep.
of course, and they're going to be compliant. They're going to be compliant.
Yep.
They're going to be compliant because they want to stick around and get a green card. Of
They're
course, it makes sense. The logic of capitalism drives it to make sense. I got that. But it destroys American citizens. This is why Silicon Valley is an apartheid state. You have no African Americans. You have no Hispanics. And now you have virtually no white working class. Why? Because the game is rigged against you. And here's the Greek tragedy part of it. You underwrite it. Both
Yep.
your tax dollars, because they don't charge Social Security, and your pension funds or the private equity and venture capital that finance this. You finance all of it. I want that wound. I want to take that salt. I'm going to rub that salt right in it, right? I want it to burn. I want it to burn. So you understand how you're being conned and destroyed, and your children are being destroyed. Rosemary, Jenks, and what they're trying to do, and Semaphore has got this story, Mark Andreessen, they think you're an idiot. They're going to pat us on the head and have some changes on the margin. Screw you. We want the whole frickin' program gone. We want OPT gone. If it's America first, it's got to be American citizens first. Rosemary, Jenks.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And, the proof, first of all, I can tell you what Congress is going to do. You're going to see a push to address the H1B dependent employers like the body shops. That's not good enough. Yes, we need to end the body shops, which means you eliminate third-party employment altogether. They need to go, but that is not enough. We have American workers. According to the Center for Immigration Studies, there are almost 12 million U.S. STEM workers, STEM graduates, who are not working in STEM because they have been blocked from STEM by foreign workers, by this pipeline. That has to end. And the proof that the employers are using this to replace Americans, obviously, is that they're taking experienced U.S. tech workers and firing them because they're expensive and replacing them with entry-level H1B workers, so they can pay, significantly less, a fraction of the cost that they were to experienced Americans. It's not about qualifications. It's not about skills. It is about cheap labor, period.
Sure. Indentured servants.
Yep.
We fought wars in the 19th century and had massive union and labor fights, as bloody as almost the Civil War, part of them, about slavery and about indentured servitude. It's got to end, and we're going to end it. Rosemary, Jenks, where can people go? We're going to weaponize people on this. We're going to weaponize them. This cannot go on. And we're not going to be patted on the head by the Mark Andreessens of the world and all your conferences and, we'll get the body shops. And no, the whole thing's got to go. It's a con and a scam, and it's offensive. It's offensive because it's destroying the people that to get through engineering school and to become STEM and learn computer and program. I can't do it. I'm a freaking moron. It's too hard for me, way too hard. People have done that and sacrificed, and then not to have opportunities when you promise it. If you work hard, the promise of America, you work hard, you have grit and diligence, and you get through, and you dedicate your life to this profession, this skill, and then it's blocked because you're an American citizen, is blocked in your own country, and you don't think that's outrageous? If we can't take care of this, then we can't take care of anything. And any politician sits up there and gives the happy talk, it's outrageous. Rosemary, Jenks, how do people get more information on our? This is a crusade. Yeah. Where do people get more information?
We actually have a fact sheet up on our website, which is iaproject.org. We're also extremely active on this on X. All of our social media is linked from our website, iaproject.org. We need the support of the posse to get this done because members of Congress are afraid. And we need to break their fear and make them understand that America first is Americans first.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make them afraid. They're afraid of big tech and the donors and all that. I got it. They should be afraid of that. But we're going to make them more afraid of an enraged population that says this has to end. This has to stop. And we're prepared to put political muscle in getting into your district and making sure you're one of the bums we're going to throw out. So we don't care how much money Mark Andreessen gives you.
Well, you couldn't see me because I was off camera, but I really smiled when I saw Steve Bannon say we're going to make them more afraid. It really is a travesty to have 12 million graduates in STEM. We have this big push to tell people to go into STEM, 12 million Americans, and they can't find work in it. And I could barely contain my fury thinking about it, but I couldn't have said it any better than him. He's one that, just on Rumble alone, he's got almost 2 million subscribers to the War Room channel. And I know they have a big reach in social media, other places. So I'm glad this is being discussed. It couldn't have been discussed better than the lady there and Steve Bannon. So I thought that I share that with you all. Hopefully it struck a nerve with you too. And this is something that you could share and have some value in it. And I'm looking forward to things improving. I'm paying attention. And but as I say, if nothing changes, I'd have a hard time encouraging young people I know to go into tech, into STEM. Now, I'm at the tail end of my career, maybe 5-10 years at the most. So I'm going to try to stick it out because this is what I've been doing for almost 3 decades. And anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. Talk to you another time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.